Imagine that. A senator wanted to ask a question. Imagine that. A senator wanted to do his or her job of providing that oversight and accountability for an administration. That's why I'm here today. That's why we're all here today. So good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for your willingness to stand up for our democracy. We don't give up that easy. We stand up, we speak up when necessary. It's an honor for me to do my part in supporting the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, and not just because I considered John Lewis a friend, as many of us did. He was a hero of mine, but because he reminded us that our vote, while sacred, was never guaranteed. Our right to vote survives because good people continue to show up, to speak out, and to cause good trouble when necessary. And we could all use a little bit of John Lewis's courage right now to push back on this administration's brazen attacks on our right to vote. You've heard it before. Blatant partisan gerrymandering being directed from the South Lawn of the White House. Never would I have imagined, but that's what we're up against. The weaponization of the Department of Justice, and specifically their voting rights section, to set up the purging of voter rolls. And the Trump administration encouraging, egging on election deniers in every corner of the country. We may be up against a lot, but we know we have a lot to offer. That's why Senator Durbin and I are co-leading a spotlight forum tomorrow to shed light on the coordinated voter suppression playbook and to sound the alarm before it's too late. We'll have as one of our witnesses former Attorney General Eric Holder. You might have heard of him. He had a front row seat to the Shelby case, when in 2013 the Supreme Court got it wrong and undid the teeth of the Voting Rights Act. As he'll tell the right perspective, it doesn't have to be this way. The John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act will put the teeth back into the Voting Rights Act of 1965 because we saw the evidence. For 50 years the law stood, the preclearance requirement stood, the teeth stood to protect our right to vote. And we'll put it back in when we pass this bill. And we'll build a firewall against other attacks on our right to vote. So next week marks the anniversary of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Now, 60 years later, voting rights remain under attack. So how can we live up to the legacy of the great John Lewis? How can we, this generation, not just of elected leaders, but the true leaders, the organizers and the advocates, live up to the legacy of the man that many people refer to as the conscience of Congress? Let me tell you how we can do that. We can organize, we can mobilize, and we can pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. Thank you.